the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
Welcome to Hanging Loose, a disc golf podcast, hosted by Shanked, DG, and Spicy Boy. Today's guest, Reactor Projekt.
Gracias, Poppy. Gracias, Poppy.
Oh,
is that a weird thing to start with? Right. Welcome to the Hanging Loose podcast. I'm Spicy Boy DG, joined by Shanked DG. You don't get to say your own name. You did that to me for the first 3 episodes.
Did I really?
And we're brought to you by Great Lakes Disc.
Damn, and George Soros.
What?
Yeah.
Stop making up stuff.
I'm not making up stuff.
Exciting news.
Yes, sir.
I
Sir.
Drop that on you as a surprise. So we have stickers of Spicy's face available. And
That's
for
awesome.
any person who orders a Shanked shirt in the next 14 days,
Ooh.
I will send you, until I run out, you just DM me your address. I will send you a Spicy Boy sticker. You can put my ugly mug on your shit. And that's meant to improve sales, not slow them down.
Heck yeah. Those have been in the works for a minute.
It's good to have you back, buddy.
Thank
and
you.
with a shirt to celebrate. How's the move been?
Moves have been pretty good. Finally in our own house. It's super echoey, but finally in our own house. And yeah, got sick immediately. So not.
Oklahoma will do that to you.
Yup. And the allergies down here are bad. Like, I generally don't have them, but they've been getting me since we've been down here, and then I got sick on top of it. So if I sound a little rough and look a little rough,
I mean,
but I'm 100%. I promise.
I don't know if it's a good or bad thing that you look and sound exactly normal based on our estimations, but whatever works, man. So anything crazy exciting? How was your first round in Oklahoma?
It was good. I went to a league.
Oh,
Duly
look at
noted
that
gaming.
blank screen.
I love it. Man's watching the boy Jeremy. No, I went to a league night for the first time. The scene down here is a lot different.
I was going to say ever.
No, first league down here. And the demographic is a little bit different than where I came from. I got a sideways glance for my Neptune putters, which was unfortunate. But
And
what do you do?
In the middle of Ponca City, Oklahoma, get doxxed. You're surprised by that?
Oh no, got doxxed. I didn't get doxxed. I mean, you just did.
Yeah, that was the joke. God, you've been gone for too long. You've lost my sense of humor entirely.
I must have missed something.
Unbelievable. Well, not everybody can be enlightened or understanding or inclusive. Just
No, for
how
sure.
the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
But
Oh, goodness.
goodness.
Yeah. But how'd you finish at league night? I mean, you kind of stopped halfway through that story. Started looking at your phone. I know you have a crippling porn addiction, but I really need you to focus.
I was pulling up my notes because I'm floundering. No, league night went pretty good. We placed like second or third. And my teammate was someone who had been playing for a week. So, granted, the turnout wasn't very strong, but they actually do something different here, which I thought was a little bit more fun. So in Iowa, when we played dubs, we drew cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everyone knows what that means, but you pull the same card, you're on a team. So,
Well,
but here they do flip dubs.
Mhm.
So I've never done that before, and it triggered my social anxiety so bad. So they're like, "All right, everyone circle up," and immediately I was in fight or flight. Like, I need to, I don't want to do this. Where's the playing cards? And,
I'm not laughing at you feeling uncomfortable, but flip dubs seems like such a regular part of my life. So to hear that it gave you that much social anxiety is a little odd for me.
Yes, I've never heard of it. Like
what? Tails Bales? Nothing?
Nothing. That is
Wow.
not part of the demographic. Actually, if you let us know down in the comments, are you more familiar with flip dubs or random draw? I'd be very, very curious to know.
I think whenever I do like league night, it's typically draw. But
like card
when
draw?
when the buddies and I play dubs, we just flip for teams. So it's like I have both.
Oh yeah, no, we would do that for like if we had like a 4-man card that wanted to play dubs, we would absolutely flip for it. But I've never done it with like 30 people. So we all stood in a circle and flipped, and then my disc landed heads up, and they were like tails over here, and I just stood there like, where do the heads go?
You stay right where you are.
Yeah, and like half the people.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. I thought you had just never heard of flipping, and I was gonna fly my happy ass.
No, and like when I play like 1-on-1 casuals with a buddy, we flip for T-pad like off the top, stuff like that. But
previous winner doesn't get bragging rights.
No, I don't think so. We never.
We exchanged tags.
Bragged about winning all the time, but I make friends with the new MA4 players, and then I whoop them and feel this sense of superiority.
You whoop them? This is an amateur podcast, sir.
No, I know, but oh man, I am itching to play though. I have not been able to play as much as I would hope to. Meant to get out this weekend, and then Saturday I started feeling sick and had to move furniture, and I had to move a couch that was approximately the weight of like a dolphin. And
a dolphin?
Yeah, it was.
How much do you think a dolphin weighs?
Ooh, okay, here we go.
Don't Google it. I'm
not
Googling
going to
it right now.
Okay. 850 pounds.
There's no way you didn't Google that.
I did not Google that.
There's I almost said a breed of dolphins, Risso's dolphin. They weigh 850.
Oh, wow. Right on the nose.
A striped dolphin weighs 350. A Chilean dolphin weighs 99 pounds. An hourglass dolphin weighs... Yeah, there are a bunch of species of dolphin, which I was unaware of. Welcome to the Nature Podcast.
I do not know how to spell. I spelled Chilean as CHILIN.
Chillin?
Chillin dolphin. I want to know how small they are, because that's like 99 pounds is insane.
Little baby pet dolphins.
Pet dolphins, like in a fish tank.
Or Ace Ventura.
Surprisingly never seen. Wow,
excuse me?
They're smaller than a person. I've never seen it. I've seen like clips, like it's one of those cable movies that it's like Shawshank Redemption, right? Although I have seen Shawshank Redemption.
Back to jail with this, man. This is ridiculous.
Don't crucify me.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I have seen Shawshank. I have not seen Ace Ventura.
I didn't ask about Shawshank. I asked about
how have you never seen Ace Ventura? That's insane.
I'm about to resign.
I'm like,
this is
we need to have
letter.
You know what we need to do is we need to host a watch party in Discord and get everyone into the Discord, and we'll all watch Ace Ventura together, because it is required knowledge in my house. And I will not host another podcast episode with you until you see it.
Okay, so hear me out. I've probably seen I've probably seen about 70% of it, right? Because it's a TV movie. It's something that they play on cable, and then it's like an hour-and-a-half movie that goes on for like 2 hours. They got to shove ads in there, and you're flipping through the channels, and you've seen like bits of the movie, but you've never started it from start to finish. You don't have a movie like that.
No, if I'm going to watch a movie, I make a point to block out 3 hours of my day.
No,
and I sit. Yes. I'm a movie fanatic, a movie buff. I sit down and I watch the movie. The only time I'm not watching a movie is if I gotta pee.
No, it's like Avatar. I've never seen Avatar all the way through. Like,
well, that's fine. That's trash. That's Dances with Smurfs.
It's one of those things where it's on TV all the time. You've seen most of it, but like I've never sat down to watch it all the way through. Which
I think the only two movies I ever recall watching on television in their entirety were In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood, great movie, and John Malkovich, and The Phantom Menace was on TNT one day, and I love Star Wars, so I watched both of those. I couldn't tell you another movie I watched on television beginning to end.
It sounds like a cop out that he didn't actually see it, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it on TV."
No,
tell me a scene you remember.
There's a scene with a parrot. I know he's got a parrot.
That's the second movie.
Comes out of a rhino's ass.
Second movie. It's not the best one. It's the worst one. Which is not. That's a hot take. A lot of people think When Nature Calls is way better, and it's way not.
Maybe I haven't seen it because the scene with him hanging his head out the window is the Dumb and Dumber
when he's driving.
Yeah.
No, that's Ace Ventura.
Oh, I thought that was. He's not even Dumb and Dumber.
No, he has a bowl cut in Dumb and Dumber. If he's got the fucking pompadour and the glasses, that's Ace Ventura.
Shit. Maybe I haven't seen it.
God, it's so good, dude. It's comedy genius.
No, I'm actually not really a movie guy. I mostly TV shows. I don't have the attention span to watch a 2-hour movie, but I'll watch 6 episodes of something in a row. So
you understand that makes no sense.
Yeah,
6 episodes is usually 6 hours these days.
Yeah, I definitely understand the dumbassery in that, but
your words, not mine.
Yeah, I'm gonzo.
I binged all of Fallout this weekend.
Ooh, I need to watch that.
Which is, are you a fan of the games?
Yes, definitely.
Out of 10, how big of a fan of the games would you say you are?
6.
Okay. So I didn't start playing Fallout, admittedly, until Fallout 4. A disc golf podcast where we're talking about video games.
Yes.
I didn't start playing until Fallout 4, but I'm an absolute whore for base building. If there's base building in it, Fallout 4 has the best. And I've told you guys about like the moment where I turned on the game and I saw it for the first time in years and I got really emotional. And I felt the same way watching the Fallout show because it's so perfectly done. It captures so many little minute details that like probably fly over most people's heads, but like even down to the way a character walks away from the main character after like an interaction. They just kind of blindly turn and walk at a slower pace like they would in the game. They're not,
Yeah.
And I mean, Mr. Handy and fucking Jet and fucking Grognak the Barbarian. They just, every single piece of the show that they pulled from the games, down to the way that the decay looks on the walls from the radiation. It's so good. I can't give them enough kudos. I don't like the term flowers. It just hits my ears weird, but props, kudos, whatever. Like you guys, I know Amazon watches this podcast and absolutely killed it. It's so incredible. And the ending to season 1, so
Spicy,
good.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
Yes, of course. But I've
Which
never
one?
played The Last of Us because I don't have a PlayStation.
That's okay. Which show was a better TV show?
Ooh.
That's a good question. I think The Last of Us was a better TV show. I think Fallout is a great TV show, but it's also like 100% a love letter to fans of the game as well. Gotcha. Whereas Last of Us, they took a few liberties in a few places. They really nailed the casting, and the show is phenomenal, but I think it's more gripping than Fallout is. There are definitely a few things that pop up during the Fallout show where you're like, oh shit. But that was like the whole season of The Last of Us. So
Yeah.
I would say that's a better show.
Yeah, I haven't seen Fallout yet, but it sounds like it's a lot of fan service to the players of I would agree. I mean, out of all the video game adaptations I've seen to movies or shows, Last of Us is definitely my favorite. Um, such a good show. It was loyal enough to the story that and just good enough for TV. I think it's perfect. It's one of those things where a lot of video game movie adaptations of video games struggles with is bringing it to life and not being too fan servicey. But
I think Fallout absolutely nails being able to fan service while presenting you with a new original story. It's not like anything from any of the games. It's completely independent, but it has all of those little things, like just the sounds that fucking Pit-Boy make when they touch them and they switch menu. Like, I mean, pulled straight from the game. They didn't even bother to like redesign it or like their own spin on it. They just pulled it straight from the game, and it works because that universe already lends itself so well to storytelling. And so I mean, excuse me, guys, mute that RV3.
RV3 got that.
Even little things, and because I watched it with Jillian, and I told her, I was like, this is incredible, and she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, when you're in the Fallout games and you're playing through them, most of the houses that you run up on, you can't enter because they're full of sand or they're half demolished. And they, like, when you're playing it, it just kind of feels like, I don't want to say lazy game design, but like intelligent game design in that, hey, this is a structure, but you can't go in it. There's no texture inside of there. We're saving space for things that you're actually going to care about later.
Yeah.
And they put those houses in the show. Like, every house they walk up to is just full to the brim with sand, and there's no point in even going in there. And I'm like, to include that is like you could tell the people who made the show are in love with the game. And it's, oh my God, I can't stop gushing about it enough. I've been thinking about it since I finished it yesterday. It's, fucking so good.
Yeah, I'm stoked to watch it.
Yeah, you should be.
When my first experience with Fallout, I bought it for the PS4. It was a New Vegas, or maybe PS3 New Vegas like remaster, and it would not boot.
Would not boot? Well, that's why you don't get a PlayStation.
No shit. But yeah, it put me off Fallout for a while until I think Fallout 4 was the first one that I played, and it was fine. Like, it was a fun game. I thought it was a little too complex for what I wanted at the time. Like, I found myself.
They are complex games.
I found myself confused by menus and stuff a lot. Like I said, before the show, spiritually, I'm like 70. So, so before
cut that. Yeah. Before what? Before we have too much fun?
Yeah, before we have too much fun, kind of want to lead into the guest for today.
The jest?
The jest for today. It's me. I'm a clown.
Sorry, that was a bad reaction.
Reactor. Speaking of which, Project Reactor, the guys that Ricky just signed with, or actually more than signed with, he owns equity in their company.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. He took on a partnership deal for part ownership of Project Reactor, spelled with a K, super edgy.
Like Pilot Inspector, everyone's favorite celebrity baby name.
That missed me. Not sure what that is.
That's okay. The real ones will get it, and they'll react. There's a celebrity couple, I can't remember who it is, but they named their child Pilot Inspector, spelled with a K. That's not a joke. That's a real thing.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I was going to make that joke directly to the Reactor guys, but I figured save them the trouble.
What's worse, Elon Musk's kid's name or that one?
There are a lot of wild celebrity baby names. But you know what we should do? On a future episode, I will compile a list of about 20 ridiculous celebrity baby names, and we can decide which ones would be the best for disc molds.
Are you suggesting a terrible celebrity baby name draft?
Yes. I sure am.
That's incredible.
We'll do it.
I am in.
We'll add it onto the hangies or the loosies. We could call them whatever we want.
Lucy's.
Time out.
Like some ciggies.
Two things. Shanked, please center yourself a little bit better. You look like you're chewing on your name when you talk. No,
Other way.
the other thing, I like the trying to match the name of Celebrity Baby to the disc better than having to draft bad Celebrity Baby names, because we're going to offend somebody and then we really won't have anybody listening to the podcast.
Who are we going to offend? Oh, sorry, Kurt Russell. You named your child something fucking ridiculous. Big Trouble in Little China is not a good baby name.
No way.
No, it's not, But I mean, I'm just saying,
yeah.
I'm not worried about offending anybody, but we can absolutely,
Yeah. I figured we'd do, top 5 baby names that would be best for names of discs is what I was suggesting. Well, not suggesting. The draft that you suggested.
Apple sounds like a Clash Discs reject.
Yes.
And that's Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter's name. So
Odd.
Is that good? No, it's not, Eric Oakley, but thank you for asking.
Did you see his did you watch any live coverage this weekend?
I did not actually watch any live coverage.
There was a whale sax commercial that was really
I heard about it.
Yeah, I think Ben, I think it was Ben on Twitter, made a post saying something similar that was he was dripping in sweat, and then he grabbed a whale sack, and there was a really bad cut in the video to when he was dry. It was very funny, and just low budget enough that it resonates with disc golfers, I think. So
that's the way to do it.
I'm sitting here with my fingers on WASD like I'm going to be playing a game.
That's me every day of my life, so please don't feel bad. I'm at work and
just
trying to help insurance people, and I'm just always sitting on WASD. Anyway, back to Reactor.
Yeah, Project Reactor, the apparel company who are in the green room. Hope they're simmering.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some. Oh, what's up, buddy?
And John, what's up, dudes?
Hello, guys.
Hey, welcome. Some weird energy on this one. Hope you hope you're hanging out.
It's every episode that we record, he says that. So I don't know how to be unweird. I'm just weird, I guess.
Fair enough. Love the hat.
Thanks.
Mine's in the mail,
represent. Right? Got to represent.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You guys popped up on the scene real quick with a pretty big hitter.
kind of out of nowhere, yeah. Me and another one of our business partners just had this idea probably 2.5 years ago. We were out playing some disc golf and walking around on the course, and we were talking about fashion related to disc golf and how there weren't a lot of brands that were doing more of the nicer, higher end kind of stuff. There's some brands out there doing it, and there's a lot of brands doing fashion, or fashion's not even the right word, apparel, accessories, things like that.
Could be both.
So it could be both, right? So we were just talking about, could there be a place in disc golf? Me and Rich, my other co-founder, have professional jobs. We go into the office every day. Could we find something that we could wear to a meeting and then leave them?
We lost you for a second.
It says the host says, okay, there we go. So we really just thought about this idea of saying, could we create something that I could wear to a meeting or he could wear to a meeting, and then leave that meeting and go right on to this golf course and play. So something with nicer fabrics, simple, clean patterns and designs or whatever.
Love it.
And so that's really where it started. We just started having this conversation. We started talking about it. And as we were building this idea around this company, we decided to bring on a couple of other partners as well. So my background, I own a design company. We build brands and we create graphic design and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So there was a natural fit for us. And then JT has a great background. I'll let him talk about himself as well. But we also have a partner who's really great at finance, and we have one that's great at operations, distribution, and stuff like that. So we really came together as 5 partners to say, let's try to build something. Let's put some effort into this thing and see what we can do. And so that's where Reactor Projekt was born. We came up with the name and the concept and the idea and all the first run designs. We went and got everything manufactured for our first run of core products. So we have polos, we have incredibly soft t-shirts, we have hats, we have some accessories, keychains, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the genesis of that. We can get into some more deeper details soon, but our official launch date was in December of 2023. So just a few months ago. And I don't know, JT, if you want to talk a little bit about your background, because I think the piece that JT brings to the puzzle is a really important part of this whole story. And from the beginning, we really wanted to see ourselves as a partner with athletes and not just building this brand on our own. We have our business partners, but how can we also partner with athletes to build the brand in different ways? And that's where we connected with JT and brought him on board, and he's been a catalyst to that piece of the puzzle.
Nice. Thanks, Clifton. Yeah. So I'm a discer. I'm 50 something, right? And I didn't find disc golf until I was 40 years old. And
oh wow,
like many other guys out there, I've been enthralled with it since then. Like, where's this been on my life, right? So I work in the professional field. I'm a dental consultant by trade, but in the last 10, 12 years, I've done everything I can to get more engaged with disc golf, and own a store here in Kansas City, disc golf store, with a partner with Rich and Pete Cashin. A lot of people know Pete Cashin out there, but nice. Got to know Ricky about 5 years ago. Met him a couple times. I worked closely with Ricky on his foundation. So shout out to
I was going to ask you where that connection came from. That was going to be my first question. So cool.
Quick shout out to Ricky's foundation,
absolutely.
The Psychobomb Foundation. We do the first putt program, so we provide a lot of teachers that want to introduce disc golf into their schools. We've got packages in all 50 states, and we're in our third year now. A lot of good things going on there. But I've got to know Ricky real well. Have a lot of conversations just about the future of disc golf and where he's at in his career, and I had the opportunity. Clifton and Rich approached me and started talking a little bit about Ricky and kind of pitched the idea to him, and he's all on board with it. So pretty, Ricky's a risk taker, right? So just as with his contract, the Bitcoin thing he did back then, he's always thinking outside the box a little bit. And another thing I love about disc golf is, we're still in our infancy as far as the industry itself is concerned. So we have an opportunity to kind of rewrite the way things work out there. So we're just thinking outside the box, and rather than a traditional model with, the corporate side and the player endorsement side, we've just got Ricky and engaged from day one in this thing. So a lot of cool things coming up, and we couldn't be more excited to be working with him. But that's kind of my role, as, I guess, for lack of a better term, team manager. So I'll be working with Ricky and any other players we engage in the future. For sure.
Nice. I love that. I was curious about how the Ricky Wysocki thing came to be, but heck yeah. Sorry, I totally
in business. I was just going to say, like in business, everything revolves around connections. You know what I'm saying? And so it's impossible to build a business by just relying on marketing and how much money you put out there and everything. You have to have connections, and you have to connect with people, and they have to connect with you. And so I think bringing Ricky on board was a great piece of the puzzle for us, where we have a great connection, and we talked a lot about who would be a great athlete to bring on board as our first, major piece of the puzzle. And Ricky's name just kept coming up. And since we already had a connection with Ricky, we just started those conversations, and he really, really loved the idea, like a lot. And so a big piece of what we've been doing with him is, and he'll quote this by saying, we're not just putting his name on another t-shirt. We are building a brand for Ricky, a whole new brand. that really will help him transcend the sport of disc golf, his playing career. He's not going to be playing forever, right? And so how do you build that lasting legacy, that kind of Air Jordan type legacy where you can sell products 20 years down the road to help you continue? You know, when you have a big contract, it's only a limited amount of time. And so how do you build something new and great that's beyond that? And so we had a chance to work with him very directly, and had him here in our office for about 2.5 days. And we really got to know Ricky like deeply. We went out and watched him do some practice rounds, took a lot of photos, like really talked through his game and his mentality. We looked at fabric swatches and design ideas and logo concepts. And we really went all in on this with him. And he was a big part of all of the decision making. So we weren't just saying, oh, okay, your name's Ricky and you do these things, so let's create some stuff for you. And what do you think? Right. He was a big part of that conversation and a big piece of helping us come up with everything that helps him for his brand. And that really, I think, was the biggest catalyst for him to be excited about working with us. We even have a designer here on staff that happens to be somewhat of a stylist, so to speak. And so she's been working with Ricky to help him kind of figure out, okay, if we design your polos and your hats for your playing, okay, what is that going to look like? What pants should he wear, and what kind of shoes and belt and socks, and how do we put all that outfit together so that he really looks sharp on the disc golf course? He wants to be a professional athlete. He wants to look professional, and he wants people to see him as a professional. And so that was a big piece of that, where we could really help him in a lot of different ways to build his brand and help him get to that next level, essentially.
I think having a company that's basically built from the ground up around disc golf is very exciting. I think for you to have been thinking about doing it for disc golf before you ever even met any other partners or put anything else out into the universe. I mean, there are several apparel brands in disc golf, but I think 90 to 100% of them were apparel brands externally first and came into the disc golf realm. So having you guys have this idea, I think professionalism, and this was one of the first things that we talked about on this podcast, even though we're amateurs, professionalism in disc golf is going to go such a long way to pushing the sport forward. Like I was telling our producer RV3 last week that my buddy has a niche sports channel on his TV, and we watched the very first ever jet suit race.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And one of the dudes ate it in the water, but you know what? He looked professional. There were signboards and flags and everything, and it looked like they had been building this for like years. And it's like sometimes, and this is not a knock to NETDs or anything, because like you said, disc golf's in its infancy. Excuse me. But having your professionals maintain professionalism by the way they dress, the way they present themselves. And, we will go play in shorts and t-shirts, but we're not professionals. And like my little title below my name is kind of a joke, but I really do I really do like to look good when I'm out there just filming the professionals.
I'm the same.
People should know that I'm not just another spectator. I'm here to do a job and be professional about it. And, so I love this idea, and I wish that more companies would put a stronger emphasis on disc golf. So my initial question, until you guys explained a couple of things, was like, how did you get it to be centric around disc golf? But then you told your guys' stories, and it makes total sense. I'm enamored, to say the least.
One of our taglines literally is "Born on the Course," because that was 100% it. Me and Rich were buddies, and Rich has been a Frisbee guy since like the 80s. Doing freestyle, and then more recently into disc golf. I started disc golfing 3-4 years ago, really because of Rich. And as we were out there just walking around talking about business ideas, and we both like this idea, so it truly was born in the course, us just walking around saying, what can we do to dive a little deeper into the world of disc golf, but also to help the sport out. And, I think you said something interesting about the professionals looking professional, right? I think we're going to have a hard time as a sport driving more and more money in sponsorships and big name corporate sponsors at some of these events, unless all of the athletes and the tournament folks and the volunteers and everybody around the whole sport looks like a professional sport. And again, it's not to say that people are dressing wrong or anything like that, right? We're not going down that road at all. We're just looking at it from a standpoint of saying, okay, the sport has been to a certain place. How can we help it to get to the next level? Mm-hmm. And that's really where we see as one of the pieces of the puzzle. Obviously, you have to have people in those partnership type relationships, but how can we help from some little piece of that? So
that's part of the challenge too, right? It's to embrace that history. I mean, we all love the hippie ass sport, right? I mean, it makes the sport, and people are jealous of that, but there's also that stigma around sometimes too at that professional level. So it's just kind of navigating those waters. And once again, I think the selection with Ricky resonates with everybody. It's old, young, male, female, professional, and he resonates with everybody. And that was another thing when we were really trying to target who we wanted to go after. Ricky was an obvious choice, even before the relationship. So
it's definitely a showman.
It's exciting time. It really is. So we couldn't be more excited about the future.
I just in my mind, it just kind of hits me as like everybody used to hate on ball golf for the pants and the hats and the sweaters and all this stuff, and now when you see players, they're in performance gear and really nice slacks, but they also stretch and they breathe well and they look professionals.
Well, it's interesting. It's almost like you're seeing golf come from one extreme more to the middle, right? You're seeing the waste management tournaments and people wanting to have a good time and not be so uptight. And, so it's interesting to see the merge of the two, and somewhere in the middle is that sweet spot where I think we're going to end up. And that's, once again, we don't have the traditionalism that golf is strapped to. We can
we do. It's just very different. It's tie dye and weed, and those are the disc golf traditions.
I think there's a solid middle ground to be found, because trying to be a professional looking attire business for disc golf is going to be a fine line between because as soon as it starts looking like ball golf, people are gonna, so keeping it. I'm assuming that there's plans to keep it kind of relaxed, not so not so buttoned up. But
we're really, our first line of products is really all about just doing something really clean and professional and modern, and not having a lot of graphics, not having patterns and all that stuff. I think we'll eventually get there. With some additional options, and some of the stuff that we're doing for Ricky is a little bit different too. So we'll kind of evolve and we'll get there. But you see this, just thinking about ball golf, and you kind of see a transition, I guess, where like we were talking about, they have had more of that professional thing, and now all of a sudden Bad Birdie comes in and it's crazy patterns and colors and nutso stuff, right? We're kind of saying disc golf already had the crazy patterns and all that crazy stuff. We're trying to pull it back a little bit. And again, we don't have any issues with any of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. We're just looking at it from a different perspective and saying,
this man saw Big Germ once and got just
right. And so, but there's also a way, this is something we've been toying around with internally on the design side. There is a way to create pattern and to create color and style that is still modern and professional looking. And so our current line is very, very, very simple and very understated. But as we grow and as we continue to add more stuff, we'll probably add some pattern. We'll probably add some deeper colors, things like that. But it'll still be more on that professional side, and it won't go too crazy into the other side of things. So,
and that's part of what I love so much about what you guys are doing, is just exactly like you said. I mean, Joel Freeman exists, so there are patterns out the wazoo for disc golfers. There's a million companies. I have wild shirts that I wear all the time. Like who has a shirt with blue tigers on it? But I've always been a big believer that the better you dress, the better you're going to carry yourself. You're going to feel professional when you look professional. And so I will dress absolutely ridiculously for no reason at all.
I love
But there are days, and when I in my normal daily dress, I love color blocks. I love clean lines. I love minimal graphics. I either want an all over pattern or I want no pattern at all. And
there you go.
so to have high quality, professional, it's going to be such a breath of fresh air in the disc golf realm. And even I'm not a professional, but I sure as hell want to dress like one. So
that's it.
I'm excited for their.
That's exactly it.
I'm excited for there to be a disc golf apparel brand that finally isn't just logo. You know, every disc golf merch I have is like two like dynamic discs hat or a Lone Star shirt, or you know, versus you've got the little atom thing there for the Reactor Projekt, and it's like if you're in the know, you know what that is. It's a good logo. It looks nice, but it's not like a walking advertisement. And I think that's
correct.
I like that a lot. Like my hat right now, it's a black on black disc golf basket. You can't even hardly see it. But so it's it's if you can see it, hell yeah. Otherwise, I'm not going to throw it in your face.
We had a long talk about that as we were building this brand, and it's kind of like the time to fly icon that we created is not the logo for the company, but like JT's hat has that time to fly thing on it. It's got the wings. It says time to fly. That's a slogan that we're using for some things. Yeah. Right. And actually some people have asked, if you go to the airport wearing that, people will ask you about it. It's like,
get into the Admirals Club.
Yeah. Right. I'll sell it to you if you want me to. Cause it doesn't say disc golf anywhere. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but that's what I love about it is that, yes, we do have our logo on some things, but it's not so, it's not just okay, here's a polo and here's the logo, right?
Yeah.
Just what you said.
Now, subtlety.
You have to build a brand. And I think the bigger of a brand you build, eventually you go back to that and you might want stuff with just the logo on it because now people really respect the logo. But we really wanted to avoid those things with our core collection and just say, what can we build that is as simple as possible, that builds more of a lifestyle and less of a true, putting our logo on everything. Now, when you take this hat out and you look on the inside, our logo is all over inside this thing, and it's got we got the chain thing on the back and the whole deal, right? So there's some disc golf connection to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's more in the how I know where I bought it and all that kind of thing, and a little less on the all over the front of it.
I love that. When I work with Terry, one of the stories he loves to tell people all the time is he was flying in some airport, I think in Japan, and he saw a guy across the airport that had an Innova logo on like his luggage, and they became best. And like, what I think you guys are kind of presenting an opportunity for is like, this is not the word I like to use because it's got a kind of negative connotation as of lately, but you're presenting an elite version of that. Is like, if I see the Reactor Projekt logo across an airport, not only do I know that person plays disc golf, I know they have hella good taste, and then I can go talk to them about what they, their apparel choices. Also, is it called the Core Collection? Is like a nuclear pun? Because I really hope it is.
I mean, maybe we don't technically call it that on the website, but now that we're getting ready to launch Ricky's collection, I think we wanted to figure out a way to just kind of say we do have other items besides Ricky's stuff that we've been, that we launched back in December. It is kind of our core collection of Reactor Projekt stuff. The Ricky stuff will be, it'll be part of our group, but it'll be a little bit separate. And one of the things we also just really did not want to do right off the bat was we didn't want to put disc golf baskets, discs, and some of those other things like right on the, all over, right? That's something you see very common. And again, there's nothing wrong with it because like you were saying, it immediately gives somebody that impression that you play disc golf or whatever. But we looked at some of those things and said, it's hard to do that in a way that hasn't been done before already.
Yeah.
And so how can we do that? Now with our, we did put chains. So we have this pattern that's real, just kind of some chains. It's real simple. It's on the back of the hat. It's on one of the polos and that's all it is. It's just some chains. And they're just not in a basket. They're not part of that. That's just, a piece of that puzzle. Even the logo technically is 3 discs at different angles, but it all kind of makes the thing. That's kind of the original idea behind it. So Yeah, right. So we've got those little subtle nods in there, but it's not this like, okay, here's a picture of the basket here, and then here's a disc flying across the side here, right?
Yeah.
So again, just trying to take the core pieces and parts of the sport and say, how can we change that just so subtly, and how can we make it more about a lifestyle and sayings like time to fly and born in the course, and more about that and less about the basket and the disc and that kind of stuff.
I love that too, because so many, I mean, God, if I had a nickel for every time my mom sent me something disc golf related she saw on Amazon, I would be a rich man. But it's always something like a t-shirt that just says stupid tree, or like, you know,
Yes,
like,
I hate that so
and they're like,
much.
oh, you must have never seen this. It's like, I've seen it 1,000 times.
I call
But
those
with-
Facebook shirts.
Yes,
Facebook shirt,
exactly. Where it's like, oh, I'm not strong. I'm an outer Kirk, and you're like, shut the hell up. That doesn't make sense. But again, that's something so refreshing about what you guys are doing. Is like, I love designing things to go on clothes, but I have no way to make it happen. So like Terry asked me to come up with a couple jersey designs for his media team that I've worked with him on. We haven't had them made yet, but love you, Terry. He doesn't listen to this. It takes forever for him to get anything done. But like the idea of chains, I would love like a plain white shirt that just has like chains across the bottom right. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's not disc golf. It's just chains, but we know what it is. Or
we need it.
Yeah, this little, like, I brought the little thing here, but you can see the chain. It's just a simple.
That's incredible.
And it's in the placket, so it's kind of hidden, but it pops out a little bit. That's all it is. Just the little chains.
Like, I love that.
A little stripe to, whatever. So just simple stuff.
Need a overmolded hat bill.
Or I would something I think would be fun is similar to that chains pattern. Is if you have like the beveled edge of discs, like lining up on repeat. I think that's like, there's so many molds you could even use. Like this is our Buzz Polo, or this is, whatever. If you sign with it's so minimal, but that's so much more attractive to me, I think. Like anybody can be loud, but to wear minimal fashion and have it really be stylish is a feat.
I love the example you used of Spicy of in the airport, the Innova guy sees the other Innova. I travel quite a bit for work, and I've been using my Squatch bag as my carry-on, and I just love it when I'm on a plane and you just see that guy and you're like, hey, it's almost like you guys on Harleys pass on the highway, just putting the finger down like, hey, what's up?
Yep.
So you get that camaraderie, and just tell a short story. I was at a dental meeting out in LA recently, and guy I worked with for years, and I walked into the meeting and had my Swatch bag with my laptop in it, pulled it out, and this guy said, dude, you disc? I'm like, yeah. He goes, how come we never talked about this? I've known this guy for 15 years. He's a disc golfer, and in the corporate world, we don't talk about it, so it's that kind of thing too, right? It's just we're all out there. It's growing. Yeah. It's just getting everybody connected when, apparel is just one of those fun things to kind of connect people. So once again, it's an exciting
Which it's
time.
JT, you bring up a really good point, because this is one of the things we have talked about so many times in our partner meetings is how do we find all of the people that are out there, right? So even just that are disc golfers that could be potential customers or whatever. So we follow a bunch of people on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all that kind of stuff, right? The people that I'm looking at every time I'm going to follow, they will have a PDGA number in their bio, or they'll have a disc golf basket, or you can see them in the picture throwing a disc or something. But I think about people like even myself or some of my business partners. We disc golf a lot and we buy a lot of stuff, but we don't have like disc golf baskets in our profile pictures, right? We may not even go through the airport with our Squatch bags. We might just have regular bags. So how do we really like get the word out sport wise to continue to build the momentum of there's a lot of people out there that disc that don't know all the people around them that disc, right? Which would be a great way to continue to build camaraderie and to go out and play with people or whatever. But there's so many people that don't even, shout it from the rooftops, so to speak. So how do we go out and find those groups, and how do we continue to grow the sport in that way? Because I see that as really the biggest untapped market. There are so many people like us who are in the industry, so to speak, and you know, we're doing all this stuff, but then there's all these people out there that really like to disc golf, but we don't see them, you know. We went out on Saturday morning and there were probably 20 or 30 people out there getting ready to warm up and just play a casual round on a Saturday. And I would guess 75% of them don't have anything about disc golf on their, you know, social media profiles or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
They're just casual folks out there having a good time. They've got all the gear, but they're not, you know, engaging and they're not fully engaging with the sport on a different level too.
Yeah.
So.
It's something they do after work rather than like,
Mhm.
you know, most of us have made it part of our personality at this point.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
some people, it's like they play video games. I don't walk around with an Xbox logo on my back. You know?
Yeah. Right.
That we're aware
exactly.
of.
Yeah.
That we're aware of.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
funny that I have a very good friend of mine, Steph Olson, lives in Kansas City. She's the queen of Rosedale
Cool.
Park.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, she's a very good friend. And she tells me all the time, hey, when you get a Spicy Boy shirt, like make sure I get one. So we're going to have to talk a little after we go off the air here, boys.
Some collabs. I like it.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really think you guys hit the nail on the head in bringing Ricky in because he, like you said, he's so personable. Like I've met him.
Yeah.
I live in 10 minutes from Scottsdale, so I see him out here all the time during the off season. Went to his house for New Year's Eve. Thank you again, guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he is just like, he couldn't be a more welcoming person. If you've never met him, you're going to be like, there's like all pro athletes have a little bit of standoffish. Not Ricky. He will walk right the hell up to you and welcome you to his house and hand you a drink like he did for me. And it was like, I've met him maybe 3 times and he acted like we've been best friends forever.
Yeah.
So
to
have
very hospitable. Yeah.
Yeah. To have that kind of warm personality as your ambassador is like huge.
So you bring up a really good point because yes, obviously that's a huge part of the picture here with Ricky and our partnership. But one of the things that and this is really interesting, and I think Ricky's a unique athlete in this sense. He has that happy Ricky fan favorite, huge smile, just having a great time. But that dude has the killer instinct when he needs to. That's the Raptor Ricky. So there's the happy Ricky and there's the Raptor Ricky. Now, when he's in that Raptor Ricky mode, we talked about this when we were having him kind of working through his brand stuff today, right?
Yeah.
He will go into this mode where he just puts the blinders on and he is dialed in. And that's that sort of Raptor killer mentality going on the hunt on a Sunday or whatever. And so as we announce and kind of showcase the brand here in the next few weeks, you will see that we haven't built one brand for Ricky. We really built 2 brands. We built the Ricky friendly, happy, the man of the people brand. And we've built a sub brand that is the Raptor. It's kind of what you saw in that video, a little bit more of the Raptor side where it's the just all in, go for it, you know, Sunday best, let's take down the field kind of thing. And so we're really proud to be able to work with him on showing both of those sides of who he is, because I think that's a really unique personality that not a lot of people have. They either have the killer instinct or they have the friendly, and they don't have a lot of the both. Right? And I think
is the good Ricky brand breakaway. So when he drills a 60-footer, he just rips the shirt off, and then
it's the Raptors.
Ricky.
Actually, I love this idea.
That's funny because
I'm
literally
yeah.
There's 2 Raptor eyes on the top of the hat when it's backwards. I was just thinking how funny it is. Like we saw him I can't remember which specific tournament it was when it was chess.com, I think, where he hit that putt and he stared down AB and he yelled real loud.
Oh yeah.
But then he Raptor runs to the basket with a huge smile on his face.
Yeah.
It's just, like he's friendly again. And you're just like, it's so it's funny because we do see that killer instinct on the tour a little bit, but really honing in on it as look, if you're serious, like this guy is serious, like this is the apparel for you. And I'm like, I think that's expert level
Yeah.
analysis of his personality to really hone in on
It's that
more
Sunday,
competitive.
the Tiger Woods wear red on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
There's something about that where there's the okay, now it's time to really buckle down and let's get this thing finished or whatever, right?
How about today though, fellas? I mean, come on.
Dude.
Oh, I mean,
Unbelievable.
we're in the modern era of disc golf, but I mean, right now it's on showcase, right? I mean, what a great, refreshing throwback. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That top 4 today. Whew.
Yeah, it was Simon, Paul,
Chris, Ricky.
Ricky, yeah.
Oh,
yep.
And
It's
and AB and Gannon are right there.
Yep.
They're right there too. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? That they're
But
it's like, hey guys, we're not going anywhere quite yet. Now, come on.
No.
Oh yeah.
I know, right? They were feeling like they were left out the first part of the year. So they're like, okay, time to buckle down and
right.
I'm interested to see if they can if they were kind of like waiting, right? Because you got Champions Cup next weekend. Like, are we going to see the old guard kind of really make a push again? The old guard, like they're in their 30s.
Yeah, Paul McBeth's my age.
Yeah, like they're not as washed as people think they are.
Yeah.
But it's a great time to be a fan right now. I tell you, there's something
You ain't wrong. That's why I got my Simon Sunday red on today.
I love it.
I was tuned into DGN today and like had zero problems with quality or anything. Either. Like it looked really good, and I was airplaying it from my iPhone. Like it looked incredible. Same. So they've been
doing a really good job this year, I think, with all
really
that
steps. Yeah, because I know the first couple tournaments they were having some troubles keeping the quality consistent, but they're really coming together. So
that's part of that professionalism too. It's the broadcast team, it's the media stream, 100%. It's the reliability, it's the whole thing, right? So I mean, we all know it's the best kept secret on the planet right now, but people are finding out in big ways. So exciting. And
I think you guys earlier you said disc golf is in its infancy. It's such a poignant point. Like it's still so early. There's 300,000 PDGA members, and like how many of those are active still? Where it's get in while you can. A message to the audience: get in while you can. Like there's still so much time.
Well, it's fascinating.
It's hilarious considering the growth we've already had in the last couple of years. I'm sorry, JT, jump in.
Yeah. No. It's fascinating being on the business side of things, right? I work in the dental industry, for example, and you look at the growth, and it's a good industry to be in, right? But we got this big boost from COVID and these huge growth numbers, and there's a little bit of a hangover from that, but the growth is still at a rate that is unmatched with any other industry right now. So, that's the part that, we got a lot of guys navigating those. Well, like I say, we've got a store here in town, and, you go through that period of buy anything you can, and then things settle down a little bit. But it is interesting, and it's the world we live in today. There aren't really too many rules on how you have to do things. So it's just why it's just fascinating to, at my age, to be in business so long, but look at disc golf as just a completely different market. It's been a lot of fun. So a podcast like you guys are doing, this is awesome.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate you guys jumping on.
Yes.
There's so many new media outlets. There's so many new podcasts. There's so many things. And it's so cool to see all of this come together. And JT, as you're looking at it from the store retailer side, one of the things we've been talking about is what's the next thing that we can sell besides discs? People will start to buy the discs that they want. And then there might be a point where they might buy a few more here and there, but maybe they're not going to buy them at the same clip as they did.
Yeah.
And so what's the next thing that we can do? It's going to be apparel, accessories, baskets, whatever it might be, gear, bags, things like that. And so that's another piece of our puzzle a little bit, is just trying to figure out how to say, okay, you've got all the discs you need, except for, a few you'll buy here and there, but now you can come over and add to your collection via apparel, accessories, keychains, whatever it is.
Absolutely. I'm just curious. Obviously you guys have Ricky, and that's an outstanding partner to have from day one, as I said, but are you looking more at sponsoring additional players? Are you looking at bringing in some young guns like a Gannon or something like? I mean, obviously, I think he has an apparel deal currently, but like, is that kind of on the horizon as things kind of start to take off?
Yeah, it's a great question. So that is the model long term. I think there's no doubt about that. That we want to build something that's and that we're doing the prototype with Ricky, right? So
Sure.
Right.
the business side for these players too. It's interesting when you look at it. They've got do they sell disc out of their trunks? What do they set up the fly marks? How do they promote? Some of these new contracts, players are allotted product, and then how do they best move product? And you got fulfillment, and they spend all their time during the week stuffing envelopes rather than doing practice rounds. So that's part of this project too. It's the reason we call it project, right? It's fulfilling. Can we provide the back end for these players where they really can focus on what they do best, but also have a finger in the Ricky's got he's an ownership stake in this, right, too. So to answer your question, I'm getting to a long answer to your question, but yeah, there's definitely we're talking and going to be talking with other players that's what this is about. This for us. A lot of us with Reactor Projekt, we've accomplished what we hope to accomplish professionally. This is really about empowering these young players and to be involved as entrepreneurs. And that's a conversation you talk about with Paul and Ricky. Is like we know there's going to be life after being a top player, and
of course,
it's important to us. Other industries, the pioneers of the sport have got lost in translation. Even in our sport. You think about the Climbos of the world and, where are they now and what are their annuities? What do they get from all the hard work they put into it? And that's part of our mission, is to provide a lifetime annuity for some of these players, whether it's ownership in a store or a website or a product or a brand.
Something with lasting value for the player.
Yeah. And that's what Clifton was saying before. Through the Reactor Projekt, we're providing professional grade services from branding, styling, marketing, all those things. So
distribution,
fulfillment,
sales, fulfillment. Yeah, absolutely.
They show up at a fly mart and the booth set up for them, and they walk in after a round and they can sign autographs and do that and still have. Because a lot of those guys, you've got your A level, your B level, your C level players right now. If you want to,
and then us
look at them that way, and they all pay their dues at some point in time.
Yeah.
But how do you? We're just trying to get these kids where they're. I call them kids because I'm an old guy, but
they're all, even Ricky. They're all younger than us.
Yeah, but it's about, and they're not business people by trade necessarily either, right? They grew up throwing frisbee, so it's a great. The one thing I love about disc golf is I've never met someone involved with the sport that I didn't resonate with at some level, and it's just good people, and that's just what just to summarize the conversation, that's just what Reactor Projekt's trying to do, is kind of provide that level of professionalism and business savviness and all that stuff to the sport, so the power stays with the players, not with the corporate folks.
I think that's going to. I think it's going to buy you a lot of goodwill with the disc golf community, because
that's what we're trying to do.
We all want the sport to grow, right? But we also don't want to be taken advantage of, as you can see with some of the deals made in the last couple of years. And, you get some outside business come in, bunch of money pumping into the sport, but like you can see they're kind of they're getting their shovels out to scrape it back up, kind of thing.
Yeah, and they sell out, and the guy you made a deal with is no longer even part of the equation anymore. It happens so often. It's and back to Ricky too, just to finalize that conversation. He's taking a big risk on us too. He's got guaranteed endorsement money that he wanted to go a different route. He could go the traditional route and just have apparel sponsorship and get paid for that, but that's a 1-year deal, one and done typically, right? So he's thinking outside the box, and he's taking a risk too. So absolutely. Yeah.
We look at other athletes and other sports, and if you look at I don't know, baseball or football players or whatever, right? They don't have to do anything except get better at their sport and connect with their fans, right? That's their job. They have all these other things around them. And so this is what we're really, really trying to do with disc golf and these athletes, and say, you have two things that you have to focus on as a professional athlete. Focus on winning and connecting with your fans. That's how you build a legacy. You really don't need to, and as much as possible, shouldn't be involved in Obviously the business side of things you should be involved in, but I'm talking about like JT was talking about, stuffing envelopes and mailing packages and fulfillment and nitty gritty and doing all that sort of thing. And so as much of that as we can take off of the plate of the athlete and let them focus on winning tournaments. And
what got them there in the first place.
That's what got them there in the first place. 100%.
Yes, exactly.
And so the more of that we can do, the better I think that everybody's going to do. And we really do want to provide that. You know, we see it as kind of a service in a lot of ways. How can we do that with Ricky? And that's what we're focused on now. And then with other athletes, hopefully in the future.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm super stoked for what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
super stoked you guys are going to be on this podcast that has 10 listeners. We love having you guys on.
We'll take it.
It's been super informative and you know, a lot of people, and this is just because you did start in December, you know, you're 5 months old.
Yeah.
And a lot of people saw, hey, I signed this deal with Reactor Projekt on Ricky's page, and they know who Ricky is, but they may not have heard of you guys.
Like,
so it's such an exciting time, and I can't envy the amount of work that you guys are currently dealing with.
It's a lot.
I envy the rewarding feeling that you get when you do see things succeed. So I'm super stoked for you guys.
And it seems like you guys are doing it right. I mean, like it's the best stuff starts slow, right? And this, I mean, it's hard to say it's slow because you've already got Ricky is you know,
it's slow. I mean, it's everything takes forever. Even just in the apparel industry, oh my gosh, everything takes 5 times longer than we want it to take, and you know, whatever. So
if you're watching this, follow them and everything. I assume you guys are on everything.
We're on
Instagram,
everything.
Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
Remember to spell it right.
Yes,
that's the tough part. Is it's a little bit of a funky spelling, but yeah,
you're telling me.
Yeah,
how many times I have to say SPII?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Dude.
RV3.
Brandable.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see where you guys go. I've been wanting, and I think we're getting to that point. It's just far enough past like COVID that the people who were tried to start something off in like 2021 and didn't follow through, and then now we're starting to see the people that are going to stick around kind of crop up. So I believe that's you guys, and
appreciate
we're
that.
Trying.
I'm excited to wear your guys' clothes to my work because it fits the dress code perfectly.
That's awesome.
I work from home and will still wear your clothes. So,
if it's your dress code too, perfect.
you can wear it at a car dealership and the course.
That's right. Which was the whole intention. Do you guys want to answer a few Twitter questions before we let you run?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're here for as long as you need us.
With it.
No, don't say that because I will keep you here.
I don't have anything going on.
All right, this is a fun one to start. We got a few. What would your spirit disc be? Like spirit animal, but for disc golf discs. What disc do you think represents you the most?
Okay, so I don't know which version, but probably going to go with something Castoplast just because it's that clean modern. Like that's who I am. I'm a designer, and I design clean modern type of things. It's kind of my ethos or whatever. So I'd probably go something Castoplast just because everything they do is really clean and simple. I have a Falk sitting in my bag. So yeah, right. So I'll go Castoplast Falk. I got that sitting in my bag. It's orange. Nice. It's clean and simple and modern. I love the design.
Sweet. JT, hit us.
I'd have to say the Johnny McRae Fuse right now is my spirit animal. I love Johnny. Represents. He's my age. You know, he's out there still getting it done every day. And that Fuse is just it's a rock, right? It's a latitude rock. It flies where you throw it, and it's just true. So that's the way I like to live. It's just as true as I can. So Johnny McRae Fuse.
I love that.
That works. Shanked, what do you got?
I'd have to go with what's the flippiest thing in existence?
A Rolo.
Yeah, probably a Rolo because you don't know where I'm going.
There you go. That's perfect.
That's a good one. I would probably have to say the glitch, I would say, represents me the most because I can't throw very far, but I can throw accurately, and I think that's exactly what the glitch was made for.
There you go. That's perfect.
And I'm fun to throw around with your friends. That sounds a little suspect. Thank you, Drew, for that question. Matt White, if you had to only throw tilts or polecats, which would you pick? Let's just say for one round.
If you had to do a tilt or polecat round only.
I've never thrown either of those. I think polecat's a much funner sounding name, so I'll go polecat.
Okay.
I think that's the right choice.
I've heard of it. I've heard of them, but I've never thrown one.
It's polecat for sure for me. I catch disc. I love playing catch.
Way easier.
But I try to do it in the woods anyway. Yep.
It's a lid putter.
Well, I'm not trying to be contrarian, so I won't. Polecats all around.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Matt.
Have you thrown it still? Golly.
Yeah.
This dude said the cumulative stability of his bag was in the 60s. I think he said it was like 63.
What?
So if you take the negative and positive number and added them all up, it's 63.
Is this Simon's bag? What the hell?
No, that's Matt White's bag.
That's pretty wild.
Right?
Thanks, Matt. That was a fun one. I do like polecats. We do polecat only rounds up the street at my home course every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one of Butters. I'm going to rephrase it, Butters, so forgive me. The first tournament that's sponsored by Reactor Projekt, what's it going to be called?
Ooh.
JT, manager of our partnerships. Oh man,
are you going to go the Reactor
Time to Fly
presents, or
it's got to be Time to Fly.
Got to be something Time to Fly. Yeah, Reactor Projekt presents Time to Fly.
Time to Fly is on everything we put out there. Yeah, it's
that's actually really good.
The Reactor Projekt presents the Time to Fly Open.
The Time to Fly Open.
That's it.
Trademark it.
Dude, so good.
My royalties will be minimal.
Thank you. Love it.
You got to be it'll be in Kansas City too, probably. Yeah. That's where it's going to be.
Ooh, yeah, I'm close. I'll be there.
I was going to say I'll have to get on a flight, but it'll be worth it. Never been to Kansas City, and I love barbecue.
There you go.
3 hours.
Any other drive? I just got my car fixed. I'm not going to break it again.
Is it Des Moines? You Des Moines?
No, I'm in North Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah,
you're close.
Pretty close.
All right. This is from Stu. What was the original aspect of disc golf that got you addicted to it?
That is a question that I don't tell people that answer to that question, but I say this all the time. My absolute favorite thing, and it is what got me to really like it, is I like being outdoors. And the weather around here is pretty crappy 3/4 of the year. But whenever you can get outdoors and basically just go on a nature hike, but you happen to be playing a fun game with Frisbees at the same time, there's nothing better than that. That is 100% what got me hooked, was just I'm outside in nature, going on a hike, tromping through the woods, throwing stuff, right? Yeah. That's it for me, 100%.
I'd have to say for me, it's just the anticipation of what happens after it leaves your hand. You know, I'm a control freak by nature. There's something about the fact that I can't control it at that point, and I'm at peace with it. And
the guy behind you saying nice after you throw can control it, though.
Yeah.
right.
But
nice.
It's interesting, though, you know, with the foundation, with the kids, you'll see it. The first time they throw a Frisbee, some kids will throw it and they'll just wait and see what happens. And others, they throw it and they're on to something else, right? But it's that anticipation of what it's going to happen, because you don't know sometimes. So.
I meant to say thank you earlier, JT, is the foundation actually did provide, I think, 3 baskets and a bunch of putters to a school that one of my disc golf buddies is the principal of. So we are direct recipient of your guys'
very cool.
Generosity. So thank you for that.
Yeah, kudos to Ricky. He signed that contract with Edie. That was his first priority one, was that foundation. That's something that was very close to him. So yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome. Well, all the work you guys do definitely isn't unnoticed. That's for sure.
Appreciate that.
We want to wrap up with our giveaway. I'm super excited about this one.
Yes. Yeah.
Will y'all tell us?
I can do it. So I think what we decided to do was to give away one of our shirts, one of our polo shirts. So it'll be like this one or like this one. But what we're going to do is we're going to put the Hanging Loose podcast logo right there on the left chest for these guys. So go on. I don't know how you guys do your giveaways, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. We'll cross promote
every time.
essentially. Yeah. Okay. But we'll cross promote. We'll I'll create like an image of it, basically what it's going to look like. And then for whoever the winner is, we'll figure out how to get their size and address and all that. And we'll get the logo on there and we'll get it shipped out to him. So we'll do one of our polos for this. Yeah. So
and absolutely. That is a one of a kind polo.
Yeah, literally one of one.
We aren't even getting those. You guys will get one.
Literally one of one.
Yep. So yeah, we'll look out for a post on Twitter, Insta, and they'll be tagged with Reactor Projekt on both. And the post will tell you what you need to do. It'll probably be something along the lines of follow us both and then
tag 3 friends, the normal stuff.
That kind of garbage. So keep an eye out.
It's not garbage. Don't listen to this, man.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
All that
I'm going to put you
stuff.
back in jail, even though it looks like you're there already.
But thank you guys so much. That's really cool. So
just trying to share the love of whatever we can, however we can. So
absolutely. Well, we appreciate it so much, and thank you for hanging out for this weird little interview.
I love it.
Probably the nicest way you could have put it.
Would you guys like to plug anything last minute? I think we're about to wrap up.
I think just, we're excited to launch the Ricky collection soon here and his brand and all that in the next couple of weeks. But, at the end of the day, we still have other great things on our site for sale. We're trying to continue to build our social following. So please follow us on social media and keep looking for some of the Ricky stuff. We will be out at Dynamic Discs Open. So if you're out in Emporia in a couple weeks, we will be there with our stuff so you can see it in person. We will, I think there's a potential, almost for certain we'll be out at the Las Vegas Challenge as well. I think JT is going to be there. We may even have a booth. So if you're listening or you're online and you're going to be at any one of those places, come look for us and we should have some of our stuff in person for you to take a look at. And so we're gonna try to get out some more as well. Again, we just started, so we're trying to work through what's the most important places and things for us to do in order to market the brand. And so we're working through that piece of the puzzle, and we'll build that up over time.
Are you for or against basket koozies?
I don't know if I have any opinion on that. JT might have more of an opinion. I love it from a branding standpoint. Absolutely. Right. But I know there's been some challenges with the bounce backs and the rollaways and things like that.
I wonder if there's a subconscious consumer thing where it's like, Mojo Gear just made Macbeth's disc rollaway.
Maybe
kind of a tough
look. There was a discussion on another group where they were talking about what if it's more shaped like an ice cream cone. So when the disc hits it, it just lands straight down instead of going the other way, right? So I was like, that's a good idea. So maybe it's just more of a matter of figuring out the right way to do it.
Put the ads on the top of the basket.
Yeah, like way up top. A big old neon
like a Texaco sign on the freeway.
Yeah, a neon sign on top of the basket. I love that. Let's do it.
All right, y'all. We'll let you run. Thank you so much again for hanging out. I had an absolute blast.
Yeah,
and an honor to be one of the first interviewees.
Yeah,
yes,
our first podcast. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
You guys elite company. Jeremy London's. I'm not the only tired one.
We get out of here.
Been a long week.
All right, guys.
Yeah, appreciate all you do, fellas. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thanks again.
You guys.
Get to end it with a scream at least.